Harris XL Extreme 400p. User Guide. This video will cover basic controls, new features, and best practices for using this radio. Let's start with turning the radio on and off. With the screen facing the user, switch the far left knob on the top of the device to turn on the radio. It should run through a quick startup and automatically tune to the last channel it was set at. To turn off the radio, first ensure the radio is unlocked, then switch the same knob all the way to left. Wait until the "To Action Power Off" message appears. Then press the star button and the device should shut off. If it does not initially shut off, ensure the radio is unlocked. You can verify if the radio is locked by checking the screen for a locked symbol. To unlock the radio, locate the green button on the top of the radio, then press and hold this button until you hear a boop. Verify that the lock symbol is gone and your radio is now unlocked. To lock the radio, use that same process with the same button until you hear a boop. Verify with the screen that the lock symbol is present and your radio is now locked. To change channels within a specific zone or mode, locate the channel selector knob in the middle, then switch to your desired channel. Be aware, the radio will repeat back the channel your radio is on, and if the radio is in hazard zone mode. The only channels that should have hazard zone on will be TAC 2 through TAC 5 channels. To change zones, ensure the radio is unlocked, then use the corresponding keypad buttons to shuffle between zones. To utilize the playback feature, press on this button, located on the side of the radio. Then, the radio will play only the last transmitted message. To switch to talk-around mode, locate the 4-position switch embedded under the channel selector knob, then position the selector to D. Another way to switch to talk-around mode is from the lapel. Locate the 2-humped button under the push-to-talk and press it once to turn the radio to talk-around mode. You will notice when switching to talk-around mode that the LCD display and the halo light on the lapel turn from pink to green. These are synced up to provide visual indicators of what mode you and other personnel are on. The lapel is equipped with a channel selector knob, an emergency mayday button, a volume control button, a push-to-talk, and a programmable button that currently switches the radio to talk-around mode. The lapel is also equipped with a light. To turn on the light, press and hold on it until it turns on. Press on it again to turn it off. To turn on the strobe option, press and hold until it begins the strobing process. Press on it again to turn it off. To flip the orientation of the LCD display on the top of the radio, ensure the radio is unlocked. Then, press on the 0 button, and the display should switch back and forth based on the number of times pressed. If the antenna were to become compromised, the radio will have a slight delay until it completely switches over to LTE coverage. Notice that throughout the delay, we are unable to transmit any messages over the radio. Once the radio finds coverage, the halo light will turn white, indicating that the coverage has returned via LTE. If the lapel or cord were to become compromised, a warning message will be relayed, then it will appear on the screen, and the LCD display on the top of the radio will turn red. When this happens, all controls and transmissions automatically revert back to the pack radio. When donning the radio and firefighting gear, ensure that the radio strap and cord is tucked under your turnout coat. The lapel should come out over the top and clipped onto your jacket for accessibility. The intent for this is to reduce the amount of exposed cord on our exterior to prevent damage or compromise. When the radio strap is outside of our coat like this, it exposes the entire assembly to potential damage. Although this radio can take a beating, we want to mitigate our potential for damages as much as possible. Tucking our radio assembly under our turnout coat helps with this. Moving forward, this radio can be programmed and troubleshooted from the radio shop if it's a tech issue, meaning that you may not need to send it in. If anything were to come up, notify the radio shop of the symptoms and they will make their best recommendation for repair. To get the best feedback possible from our personnel, you should treat these radios as you would at any incident. This radio is built to take a beating, so there's no need to baby it. The intent of this trial process is to determine suitability, effectiveness, and safety at incidents, so you should treat the radio in the same fashion as you typically would with our current radios. Be honest with your surveys and give critical feedback for the radio shop to make the best decision on which radio our department should be utilizing moving forward. Mahalo and take care.